If you tell me that Trae Young is a go tonight for Game 4 in the Eastern Conference Finals, we do have an update in just minutes on whether he'll be available to play.
How about this? For the second time in her career, Serena Williams had to retire from a major due to an injury. It's the first time since 1998. It is our breaking news tonight on SportsCenter. The 39-year-old entered the tournament with 23 singles Grand Slams, one behind Margaret Court's record. Wet first couple days on the grass at Wimbledon, facing Alexandra Sasnovich. First set, Serena up break, and she begins to stumble near the baseline, you'll see, as she trades forehands. And again, that wet grass, she stares down, feeling out the surface, clearly in some discomfort on multiple shots in that rally. And you see some of the pain there, fighting through. Then she limps off the court, would proceed to walk back to the locker room, her box, stunned, concerned. She would limp back out of the locker room and try to continue to play. Sasnovich serving up the middle, Serena in pain. Take a listen to the crowd to try to cheer her on. See the roller coaster of emotions right there.
Hard to watch.
Next point. She hits the backhand winner because she's Serena.
Right.
Right?
With one leg.
Are you going to feed off the crowd? Is the pain too much later in the game? This is where it's just tough. Falls to the ground after a short rally, and well, it's just, the pain is just too much. Her box looking on. Her last Grand Slam title. Aussie Open in 2017. Emotional. She had to retire from the match as Sasnovich advances to the second round. Afterwards, Serena did not speak to the media. Coco Gauff and Roger Federer did. Here's Federer's reaction.
We've just seen Serena Williams unfortunately have to retire after slipping.
Come on.
Is it? Yeah, yeah. It's it's very sad.
This is obviously terrible that it's back-to-back matches and it hits Serena as well. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I mean, it was not easy to watch. I actually turned away. I was in the gym actually stretching. I turned away because stuff like that just makes me like really emotional. But I mean, I wish her the best, and I wish that hopefully she can have a speedy recovery. And yeah, you can tell that she was really emotional. Nobody ever wants to retire, but especially at a Grand Slam in a place as special as Wimbledon after waiting 2 years to come back. But I mean, the only thing I can do is wish her well wishes and hope that she'll be back in time for the hardcourt season.
Clearly upset as Federer advances to round number 2 at Wimbledon. Next up for him, Richard Gasquet of France. Federer has won 18 of their 20 meetings all time, including all 3 on the grass, each of their 2 meetings in majors. Both of those actually came at the All England Club in Wimbledon, but they haven't met since 2007 at Wimbledon. Coming up top of the hour, we're going to get Chris Everett's thoughts on the conditions and Federer as well as Serena trying to handle it.
Let's get you ladies as soon as we know more. Malika's joining us.
Welcome to SportsCenter as we continue here, top of the hour. Elle Duncan and Kevin Nagandi with you. The very latest on Trae Young's status heading into Game 4. Also, Paul George, fantastic last night. It's been a roller coaster ride for him in this series against the Suns. We'll have the latest and plus reaction as they try to move on and, of course, force a Game 6. But right now, the big storyline?
Yeah, Serena Williams. You talk about a roller coaster ride. It's really been that for Serena since she won the Aussie Open just a few years ago. She starts our headlines tonight. Serena forced to retire from the first round of Wimbledon today. The 7-time champion slipped in the first set. She received some treatment only to have her leg buckle again, forcing her concession. Williams was making her 20th Wimbledon appearance. Much more on that with Chris Everett in just a minute. The Washington football team named Tanya Snyder, wife of owner Daniel Snyder, the team's co-CEO today, alongside her husband. The move makes her one of a few women CEOs in the history of the NFL. Snyder family purchased the franchise back in 1999. In baseball, Seattle Mariners pitcher Hector Santiago has been suspended 10 games by MLB for having a foreign substance on his glove. He maintains the substance was rosin and sweat. He is appealing suspension. He was the first person to be ejected from a game since the crackdown of foreign substances by pitchers in MLB. And lastly, as Kevin mentioned, Atlanta Hawks star Trae Young remains questionable for tonight's Game 4 matchup with the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Young is dealing with a bone bruise that was suffered in Game 3 after he inadvertently stepped on a referee's foot, Kevin.
Hey, let's go back to the top story here. For the second time in her career, Serena Williams had to retire from a major due to an injury. It's the first time since 1998. The 39-year-old entered the tournament with 23 singles Grand Slams, one behind Margaret Court's record. Wet first couple days on the grass at Wimbledon, facing Alexandra Sasnovich. First set up a break, Serena. You see a little stumble there, trading forehands. Stares at the ground, feeling out the surface, clearly in some discomfort on multiple shots in that rally. And then you'll see the pain. She would limp off the court, would proceed to walk back to the locker room. Stunned reaction inside her box. She would limp back out of the locker, trying to continue. Sasnovich up the middle. Serena clearly in pain. She can't even return the serve. And then the emotions, the frustration, the crowd trying to carry her. Listen to this. Inspiring moment. Next point results into a backhand winner right there. Again, feeding off the crowd, but the pain simply too much. She falls to the ground after a short rally. Oh no. Yeah, the last Grand Slam title, 2017 Aussie Open, but the 39-year-old dealing again the wet conditions the first 2 days at Wimbledon on that grass, and she would have to retire. Waves to the crowd, tears in her eyes. Sasnovich advancing to the second round. Afterwards, Serena did not speak to the media, but Coco Gauff and Roger Federer did. Here's Feds.
We've just seen Serena Williams unfortunately have to retire after slipping.
Come on.
Is it? Yeah, yeah. It's it's very sad.
This is obviously terrible that it's back-to-back matches and it hits Serena as well. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I mean, it was not easy to watch. I actually turned away. I was in the gym actually stretching. I turned away because stuff like that just makes me like really emotional. But I mean, I wish her the best, and I wish that hopefully she can have a speedy recovery. And yeah, you can tell that she was really emotional. Nobody ever wants to retire, but especially at a Grand Slam in a place as special as Wimbledon after waiting 2 years to come back. But I mean, the only thing I can do is wish her well wishes and hope that she'll be back in time for the hardcourt season.
18-time Grand Slam singles champ Chris Evert was on the call for the match at center court. She joins us now. First, take us through the emotions of the moment there when it started to become very apparent that Serena would not be able to continue playing.
Well, I mean, it was heartbreaking to watch. I mean, you could clearly see that she was in pain. You could hear her. She was in agony. She was screaming out. And it was so sad. I mean, especially knowing that, you know, she's going after 24. She wants to tie Margaret Court for the all-time most Grand Slam wins. And this really was her best opportunity on the grass courts at Wimbledon since she's won it 7 times. We all gave her a good shot at winning the tournament. So for this to happen in the first round, it was horrible to watch.
It's heartbreaking. And she's 39. And we don't know the full magnitude yet of this injury with the next Grand Slam, the U.S. Open, about 2 months away. You brought up 24. What's the level of concern for you at this point that Serena may not be able to win that 24th major title now?
Well, I mean, if it is a knee injury, because it wasn't specified, she left without talking to the press, so we really don't know what the injury is. But if it's dangerous and if she's going to be out for 6 weeks or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, if she has to have surgery, we don't know. But that takes her out of 2 Grand Slams that she has a great shot at, Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, in front of, you know, the American crowd, which would really cheer her on. And again, she's won that title 6 times, and that would bring it around to January or February of next year for the Australian Open. So time is running out for Serena. She will be 40 years old at that point. And you just kind of wonder, you know, it was just bad luck. And for her to lose because of a wet, damp grass court and she slipped. It's been raining so much here in England, and The match before with Roger Federer, his opponent had to default, and Roger won that match because he slipped and hurt his leg as well. So you had two defaults back to back on the slippery grass courts. You kind of wonder if there should be a discussion about that. You know, what can we do to make these courts a little bit drier, a little bit harder for the players and safe for the players to play?
Yeah, you mentioned Adrian Manarino. It was his 33rd birthday, and he was leading at one point against Federer here. And then for that injury to happen, that is going to be a huge storyline, with rain being the story the first couple of days, how the conditions are on the grass. Chris, it's great to have your perspective. You're going to be on the call for ESPN throughout the fortnight at Wimbledon. Thank you for joining us here on SportsCenter. You know, recently, Serena taken to Instagram to post this. I was heartbroken to withdraw today after injuring my right leg. My love and gratitude are with the fans and the team who make being on center court so meaningful. Feeling the extraordinary warmth and support of the crowd today when I walked on and off the court meant the world to me. Again, she said she injured her right leg. Do not know the extent of that injury at the moment. That is a recent post on Instagram from Serena following the injury. We heard Federer and Chris Evert talk about